Thank you to the Patreon supporters of the What Remember podcast. Adam S., Sarah P., a.k.a. Situational Daddy on Instagram, Leo, Paul and Sandy J., Nathan E., Jacqueline M., Matthew J., and Big Time Jim. Help support our show by going to patreon.com/whatremember and pledging a monthly amount. Thanks. I'm not a wine snob, I guess.
I don't understand these jokes.
What even is
Can I have
a bottle?
red with a white?
Scooby-Doo-Doo. A Scooby-Doo-Doo.
Can you spritz that?
One grape
Chardonnay
juice,
for
please.
I'll have an apple juice wine, thank you.
Yum, 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 yum. Apple juice.
I guess I don't know what we're doing.
Like plastic.
We're doing a part one bit for a part two.
We're doing like a whole bit.
Let's just jump into a part one, I guess. Might as well. Jesus. This is the first time we've ever done a part one before a part two, but
breaking new ground.
Well, it's all good.
Look, sometimes when it's flowing, it's flowing.
Does anyone have a movie they would like to do?
Because
I'm going to say your name, and then you're going to tell me a movie.
Don't pick me.
Because I picked every movie so far.
Every single one.
Most of them recently.
That's true.
Probably in the last year.
Well, don't give yourself that much credit.
My name is Bradley Jones.
I'm Andrew Moldenhauer.
I'm Andy Hubert.
This is not a movie review podcast, but a podcast where we try to remember a movie that we haven't seen in a very, very long time. And Andy Hubert's about to tell us what we remember about
Poseidon Adventure.
Were there 2 or 3 bad guys in Home Alone? And who was that forgetful fish in Finding Nemo? Join us as we're watching films. See what we remember and what memories we kill. Let's start the show. Here we go. This is what we remember.
which one?
Wait, what is that?
All of them. It's where the ship flips over.
Are we talking
Well,
Kurt
I've
Russell?
only seen the Kurt Russell one.
Gotta be the Kurt Russell one, obviously.
Okay.
Well, original
All right.
Poseidon Adventure? We're not doing that one.
Who's in that one?
The original?
Yeah.
Oh,
There's
don't
a
even
couple-
start. It's
Charlton
like the
Heston?
70s.
There's a lot of famous actors. Lee Majors is maybe in it. I don't know.
You're naming the people that probably were in it. But is it a 60s movie or 70s?
I feel like it was
70s.
70s.
is what I'm
Disaster
thinking.
movies feel like a 70s
Towering
thing.
Inferno.
Yeah, man.
Which I
Poseidon
own.
Adventure. The airplane
other
movie
one.
that isn't
Yeah,
airplane. The one that airplane parodies.
Airport.
Airport. yeah.
Airport, yeah. Yeah, where, like, what is it, like a plane crashes into the airport or something?
I think
There's
so.
some-
Probably an
kind of-
earthquake movie. We had like space invader movies in the 60s and then like natural disaster movies in the 70s.
Yep.
What do we have in the 80s then?
We had all the
Teen movies?
terrorist
Yeah.
movies in
Yeah,
the 80s.
Yeah,
Terrorist?
especially near the end.
Yeah,
of
like
it.
that's where you got like your Rambos, your Die Hards, you got all your Action Man.
Yeah,
fighting the crimes.
Schwarzenegger and Stallone movies.
The Wounded Vet.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of Vietnam like
A lot of Vietnam stuff.
inspired like movies.
Yeah.
for sure.
Exactly.
A lot of war film.
I think I saw this in the theater.
I wanted to have seen it in the theater.
I think I saw it in the theater.
I definitely
wanted
did
to have
not.
seen
I
it
saw
in the
this on
theater.
TV.
I don't know
as a
why
kid.
I saw it in the theater.
You might have saw it on 4.3.
Yes.
You got the 4.3 version.
Wait.
Absolutely.
4-3. How'd you see it on 4-3?
Watch on TV.
Wow, this is old. Dude, come on, like 2005.
This movie scared the crap out of me as a kid.
What a great concept for a film.
Oh my gosh.
yeah.
Why is it called the Poseidon
The
Adventure?
ship
The
is called
ship is
the
called the
Poseidon.
Poseidon. I
Oh, okay, that
think. So
explains
Poseidon
it.
flips over, and then they have an adventure in it.
It
does.
Upside down.
Inside
Ship you
out.
turn me. Inside out.
And upside down.
Who's in the film?
Kurt Russell.
That's all I had. There was another guy.
Literally the only one I
He's not Aaron Eckhart, but he was like an
Matthew Perry?
action
Matthew
star
Fox.
guy who looks like Aaron Eckhart.
Is it not the guy from
Carrie
Band of
Ellis.
Brothers, is it?
Maybe.
What's his name?
The guy from The Office.
From Homeland.
The redhead guy. I don't know who that guy's name is. There's got to be a girl. We got to have a lady, right?
Yeah. And a kid.
Is
There's a kid.
is Emmy Rossum a kid in this? No.
I
Yes?
don't
Emmy
know who that
Rossum, is that the girl from...
Shameless?
Yeah, but she...
in Phantom of the Opera? She might
Phantom
not
of
be
the
in
Opera,
this.
right? She would have been I don't know, like a 20-year-old at that point, right?
I have no idea. I'm just making
Yeah,
it
she
up.
could have been, teen.
But I think Kurt Russell has like
Late
a
teen.
family, at least like a daughter, right? And then Goldie Hawn is his
think
wife in real life, so
She's in
you
the
know.
movie?
No,
Okay. This isn't the Santa Claus. Or Santa Claus 2. Or
which I've
whatever.
never seen those films.
Yeah, not the Santa Claus.
He's in the Santa Claus. He plays the Tim Allen character in the Santa Claus.
That's true, Kurt Russell. He does a really good job of doing a Tim Allen.
Very, very impressive.
Bam, 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 bam.
I'm Jack Burton. You know what Jack Burton always says?
Oh my gosh.
That's gonna be a fun thing to edit. Anyone else? There's got to be like an old guy.
There's an old guy.
there-
See, I think the old guy is like the grandpa of the kid. Because I thought they were a thing. I don't think it was the whole family.
There's a lot of people in the movie that aren't necessarily.
There's got to be
related,
like
right?
a captain or like a crew officer person in the
like
in
an
the
F.
group.
Murray Abraham type. Is he in this film? Maybe.
Murray Abraham, I know
There
what
you
you're
go.
talking about.
Maybe. Someone like that. He looks like Jacques Cousteau. You know.
Is that
Yeah.
guy in The Mummy?
Mm-hmm.
Yup.
Oh yeah.
He might not be in this film. I honestly don't know who was in this movie.
I bet
I cannot.
I bet you've
or
nailed
Kurt
every
Russell.
single one of them, Brad.
Ian
Kurt Russell.
Holm? Is Ian Holm in this? I
Sure,
don't
why
know.
not? Put him
I
in.
don't know who that is. I don't know.
He was Bilbo of Lord of the Rings, which you haven't seen.
I'm already worried that I'm going to start mixing up both versions of this movie because I've seen them both many times.
Many times.
And yet I will not be able to tell you
Do
much
they
about
follow
either.
similar beats? I know there's just like a lot of
ship-
There's a lot of wires, dangling
Does the ship
and sparkling.
crash?
No, it
No.
gets hit by a rogue wave.
Yeah,
And it flips.
It flips over.
How quickly does it flip?
slowly. Well, it flips fast and then it sinks slowly.
Yes. Yes.
And it flips and then just starts to sink?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
That's not good. Get off that.
Here's what happens.
Get off that.
In the,
Stop having adventures. Get out.
Get out.
Now is not the time.
in the first
You
third
can't let it keep sinking.
or more of the film, we get to see the ship as it is upright.
Yes.
We get to
Okay.
see the stuff. We get to see the ballroom.
We get to meet
You
our
know what? If you're going to start a
They're
movie
hanging
with a
out.
boat, you probably want it to be upright.
Yeah, you'd think so, right?
You want to start upright.
But then suddenly it's not upright anymore.
No.
And then you see the scenes from like the ceilings on the ground, the floors and the ceiling. Up is down, down is up.
True.
yes. Yes, there's many scenes like that.
The chandelier is just
Because the flip
On the
is,
ground.
the flip itself takes I feel like 20 minutes of the movie.
yeah,
Because
it's a big deal.
It's crazy.
Lots of chairs.
There's going to be chairs
Smashing against
falling.
things.
Oh, yeah.
People falling.
People
Well, I said
falling.
the ballroom is a big deal because people the tables I think are bolted down and they cling to them and then it's flipped over and now they're 40 feet in the air
And the ship
they
is
just start
like-
falling off and get dying when they hit the ground. They're like ah.
And the ship is like, my, how the tables have turned.
Help.
Oh man.
Do people fall off the boat, and drowned, or is it just everyone's inside, right?
I mean, I think I'm sure you get some
there's gotta
crew
be people
shots. There's
on top.
crew looking out
Okay.
of binoculars and at the last second they're
They're like, iceberg, go ahead. Oh, we're
yeah,
flipping.
immediately gets destroyed. I think we get to see the bridge gets exploded into the water and everyone there's
nice.
oh god. But
I know there's scenes in this movie where characters have to climb up the walls to get to a door.
This is okay. So this is something that I wish there was just more of in movies, where
Upside down movies?
large portions of of movies just take place in upside down places because
Yeah.
they it's
How
so
can you set more movies
There's
in
so
upside
many.
down?
The end of the labyrinth does it. Come on.
Look, I just need it. I don't care how they get it done.
It's like MC Escher.
Make it happen is what I want because it's so. It just messes with your mind and also just gives you so many creative things to try and problems to solve that you never would have thought would be a problem. There's so many times where they're the staircase is over them and they're like, how do we get to there without the stairs? Because they're over there. We can't use them.
Right.
Have to figure it out. At
They have
one
to get,
point,
the little girl to go at one point.
yeah, I don't remember if
has to,
this is the
crawl
new one
through
or the
something?
original one, but they knock over a giant Christmas tree. I feel like it's a holiday cruise. And they have to knock over the Christmas
Die
tree
Hard in the Ocean.
to a balcony in order to get out of the ballroom right from the start. Because again, the doors are going to be way up in the air.
Do we have like a main goal? Is there like a guy who is like the ship maintenance or the captain who's like, if we go up through these,
He's like, there's an escape
areas,
hatch on the bottom of the ship. We got to get there.
we got to get through the top of it.
Yeah, I think that is the goal. Is like they keep either I don't know if it's because they actually know there's a thing there, or if it's just because there's water coming in below them. There's only one way
They just
to
have
go.
to keep going up.
Yeah, so they have to keep trying to get away from the water.
This is gonna be like Legends of the Hidden Temple, but with water.
I mean, basically
Little compartments that you have to like get through.
So like the water is
A lot of
constantly
underwater
like
scenes.
slowly rising at them. So like there's parts where like they get ahead of it and it's like not a problem for a while. And then all of a sudden the water starts showing up again. They're like, oh God, we gotta move. And
Do people like die every so often in the film to add
For sure.
like stakes?
Yeah, the party
And, like,
starts-
Our main characters like
the group starts with like 8 or 10 people, and you're down to like
gets whittled
3 by
down.
the end. Yeah, they keep dying while.
But there's
trying
just
to
a
get
little
there.
group among like tons of passengers.
Yes,
the
yeah.
entire
This is like the group that was able to work together to get out of the ballroom. I'm sure there's also going to be bits where it's like other people could have easily gone with them, but they were all like every man for himself and like ruined it.
There's
Now,
that
like,
one Dr. Smith character
Yeah.
who's just like pushing over kids.
Dr. Smith.
George Costanza style to get out of the apartment.
Exactly. Right. Yes, that's got to
Pushing
happen.
kids out of the way.
Super Weasley guy that like almost like leaves a kid to die to save himself.
Yep.
And then like another main character comes back to save that kid and like, you had time. No, I didn't. I had to let him
Like
go.
he
I
falls
made-
off. He's
I
like,
made a
"Oh
choice."
God, help me!" And they're like, "Not gonna, not gonna."
You almost let that one kid die.
Yeah.
Dude, does an animal? Is there a dog in this movie?
I hope not. I don't
I
think
hope
so.
not either.
I don't think
but
so.
I'm just wondering.
I don't
Dog?
remember a dog.
I hope not.
I don't know. How many?
I don't want to see a dog get hurt.
Are you guys thinking about Speed 2 Cruise Control at all? Too?
Somewhat.
Is that starting to blend into your memory?
I mean,
Yeah.
of course.
Because I keep thinking about that.
Well, that
too.
one just goes really fast. That's all that ship does.
Well, it's
never really
going
sinking.
cruise control speed. So
Cruise control doesn't seem. It seems like a reasonable speed. I don't know.
Yeah.
You're not
Like,
going any
it's just
faster.
a
You're
good
not going
tempo.
slower.
I mean, you're on the water. Who are you going to run into? It's like,
might as well put on cruise control.
yeah.
Poseidon Adventure Cruise Control.
Upside down. Cruise
Upside
control.
down.
Yeah.
Is it a like giant cruise? It's obviously a cruise ship of some kind, but it's like, how big is it? Is it? Like,
It's a cruise ship.
It's a
giant,
full-on
like a Carnival
cruise ship.
cruise,
Yeah,
like a
it's
big
like-
old Carnival cruise
Yes.
ship.
I
It
think
is
so.
a giant cruise ship. It's like a
Didn't
full-on.
this happen?
I don't think so.
Well, no,
Well-
it didn't flip upside down, but there was in Italy, there was a cruise ship where the captain got too close to an island and he literally beached the ship. And
Oh,
and
yeah.
It flipped to the side, I believe.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
that one. There's a really good. I think Brightsun Films has a really good video essay talking about that. And the captain then also was like, "Oh, I gotta get on the first boat to shore. The boat's fine though, everybody," and like leaves.
Oh.
And then like
Yes. And then I think
he's like,
I think
"Don't worry, everyone. I'll go get help," and just like goes.
Then I think he was like legally responsible too. Like the court system. Got
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was
Prosecute him for,
It's a
like,
bonkers
deserting
story.
the ship.
That one's a crazy one. It's funny. I again just watched another Brightsun about another cruise ship which catches on fire, and
There was a fire on the cruise ship I was on.
How can
Yeah.
it catch on fire? But you're in the middle of the ocean.
because like the engine,
The
blew
engine
up.
room.
Yeah, one of the engines like blew up, and it
Where are
was
you gonna
like
get some water
This
at?
was like the opposite, where like the crew actually like was like quickly acting to try and get take care of the fire, but it wasn't working. And it turns out like one of the musicians from the first boat you mentioned happened to also be on this boat too. Like
he's
this is
Lucky
the
Charm.
unluckiest dude, but he was like one of the like heroes from the first one, where he's like he's like he's like a musician, like he's like a guitar guy, and just like ended up helping save a bunch of passengers the first time around when the crew wasn't. And in this one, basically was just like, everybody, don't worry, I've been through this before. Like again,
Sandra
helped
Bullock
save
in
a bunch
Cruise
of people.
in Speed 2.
Yeah, there you go.
Yep.
And yeah, like again,
Oh,
they
man,
managed to
what an
save, like, a
unlucky
ton of-
guy.
like, I think only 3 people died on
Yeah.
the fire one, but like that whole boat burned down. It was
I gotta
pretty nuts.
recognize that guy for when I go on a cruise, and I gotta make sure he's not on my ship.
He seems
I
like a
gotta look
cool
around and
dude.
be like,
So
Is he
That
on my
reminds
ship?
me of like there's a Radiolab episode that was talking about a guy who was in I can't remember which one came first, but he was in like Hiroshima when the bomb dropped, and then he was like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta go to Nagasaki. And the next day the bomb dropped there. He was just in 2 bad places
he's
at
like,
the same time.
man, I gotta reevaluate some things. See, I'm trying to think of.
I haven't seen this movie in like 15, 16
Some of the
years.
puzzles
I've seen it in so many parts, and
Yes.
there's just like so much that happens.
Yeah.
That it's almost hard to pay attention to. Because it's just like thing after bad thing after bad thing after bad. Like,
It's pretty.
they need to get the doors open, but the
Right.
water's behind it. Then there's
gotta be
action
There's got to be a bit where they have one of those like big fire doors that crushes somebody. That's got to happen.
There's a lot of swinging, like across.
Yes, across gaps.
There's got to be
gaps.
like those doors in submarines where it's like a
hatches?
hatch,
Oh,
and
yeah.
you can't get the hatch open
Can't get it
because it's
open.
stuck. Mm-hmm. And then the water's rising in the room, and they're like, "Gotta get the hatch open." I'm like, I can't.
And they go underwater, but there's that little spot at the top. where
Just
they can
enough
take a
room.
take a little breath.
And then they get in.
Is there going to be one of those where it's like they're like the thing to open this door is like under this water over here. Someone has to swim down and get it, and they can't. They don't make it back, but
Yeah.
they save everyone else. That's got to happen.
And it's gonna be like only the captain has that key. Well, where's the captain? He died. He
starts
died like
floating.
3 minutes
Yeah.
ago.
He's like floating.
He's over there.
They grab his key. Oh man, this I think this came out in 2005, if I remember.
It tried to ape off the Titanic boom, for
Yes,
sure.
But it was a little bit
It was
late.
for sure later, but it still tried to be like.
It's a boat movie.
Remember Titanic? We're in a
Was
boat
this
movie
one
too,
that people
disaster.
really remember or like or?
We
No,
don't
this is
remember
one
it.
where I have a feeling
don't.
that like the original is the one that everyone tends to remember more.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. Is that one more
But-
exciting?
Why didn't they do it? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't seen that one.
It's a good question.
Why didn't they do like other disaster type movies? I know they did like
They kind of do. They
Day
name them
After
different
Tomorrow,
things.
but
Like,
that wasn't.
yeah.
a
I mean, like
remake.
Volcano and Dante's
2012,
Peak. You
yeah,
know,
oh, yeah.
They just like different.
They
versions
didn't
of
do
those
like a
things.
remake of Towering Inferno.
Oh, did you see the one with the Rock? What was it? Skyscraper.
San Andreas.
Oh, Skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
Yes,
Oh,
that is
yeah.
like Towering Inferno. You're right.
That is actually.
That was like 5 years ago, I think. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was like jumping from a skyscraper.
Yeah,
Didn't make any sense.
Skyscraper.
Skyscraper.
Script Scraper. Well, and
Skyscraper.
then, yeah. I mean, you
So
also
who
basically
lives?
in this
Kurt Russell?
Kurt Russell,
I think
the
so.
kid,
Our-
and the
our-
lady.
That's it.
That's
No,
that's it. That's my guess.
How many people like sacrifice themselves so the others can go on?
I'm pretty
Does
sure
that
like
happen like a lot?
I'm sure almost everyone else that
people.
dies, like that's exactly why they die. Is like it's almost always like a sacrifice kind of thing. Versus
It's like
just
Willy
didn't
Wonka's
make it.
factory.
It's
just
like
people
pass
dying one after
on,
the other.
Right.
my memory of saving this crew.
Take this thing. Take my dog tags to my wife.
dog. Yeah.
Tell my wife hello.
Your neutralness. It's a beige alert. If I don't survive, tell my wife hello.
Is there a rescue chopper or another ship like to save them?
Yes. So I think the
Submarines,
end.
maybe?
I think the end is it's one of those like hope is lost because they finally do get to the
get to the
top,
top
and
and
they're
it's
like,
like-
"There's what do we do now? There's nowhere else to go."
Yeah.
And like right, and like the water's starting to
Nowhere else to
rise,
go
and
but
at the
up.
last minute, like some flames cut through the hull, and there's like
What?
pull it back, and there's like a bunch of like rescue ships and stuff, and they're like cutting open the hull. To
Is
get
the
people out
ship
of
still
inside.
like on the surface
Yes.
of the water? It hasn't actually like started to sink.
It's like
Oh,
half
it's
sunk,
sinking.
but like
Well,
there's
I
just
mean,
a
like
little
it's not
bit
like
up.
falling down.
Right,
It's just kind of
no,
like
it's not fully
buoyant.
underwater or anything. Yeah, that's the idea. It flips over and then just starts
And then it just stays
slowly
there.
going under the surface.
Okay, so it's not completely buoyant, but it's like
Right.
somewhat.
Yes. So they right at the last second, like someone cuts a hole in the hatch and they're saved.
And 3 people get saved.
I think so.
Just 3 people out of the thousands that
It's
were on
Kurt,
that ship.
the love interest, and the kid. I'm pretty
Those are the
sure.
people we need to follow for this movie.
because you can't kill the kid. I mean, what are you gonna do?
Can't kill a kid.
And you got to have the end of movie kiss. So like the rules of film won't allow those.
I was
three
gonna
to
say,
die.
is there like a romantic thing?
They're
Romantic-
probably
There
like
always is.
they're
There's
either
gotta be.
divorced or they're like thinking about divorce, and this is what brings them together. It's a Die Hard situation.
It's not like a speed situation.
But they're a little bit
where-
older, though. Think about Kurt Russell. I mean, he's in
Well,
his
there's a
50s
kid
by that
involved.
time, right?
I don't
they
think it's the kids
divor-
either of theirs, but I think at the end, like
I don't
they're
think
now
the kid's
surrogate
theirs
parents,
either.
But
Either. Divorce. I don't. Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
I think it's more of a speed situation where it's like
They're just on
relationships
vacation.
from highly stressful situations. You know,
What is their purpose on the ship?
relationships.
Is it just like
from
a
highly
big
stressful situations.
big ballroom galley thing happening? Is
yeah,
there,
it's like a holiday cruise, and I think it's during the Christmas party that the wave
so
hits.
all these people like work at the same company. It is like Die Hard on a boat.
I don't know if
Everyone's
it's
working at Nakatomi?
No, I think it's just a regular cruise.
Yeah.
So it's just a whole bunch of
Was that
different
wave
people.
German?
Oh, okay.
Was that a German wave?
That sounds right. Yeah, one
terrorist
of those
wave?
Gruber waves.
Gruber waves.
They'll come like those.
Chateau down. Chateau down.
Oh man. Now this movie freaked me out as a kid. Like I was
I
like,
bet.
drowning is the worst. I never want to go on a boat again.
Titanic
Sure, that water's
itself.
cold.
I mean, Titanic will traumatize you too.
Yes.
Yeah.
The whole movie's great until the ending. You're like, but don't sink.
Just turn it off. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh,
Look how cool that boat is. Oh my god.
Billy Zane got the girl after all.
I'd love to hear the story of like someone who has no idea that like the only knowledge they have of the Titanic is from like a taped from TV version that did cut off the ending
cut off
and they
the-
never got
Their
that.
parents edited
40
it so they
minutes.
didn't see that
They're like,
end scene.
I saw most of the movie, right? I saw an
Parents edited out
hour.
the boobs and then edited out the ending.
At like age 30, they're like, "Oh yeah, like
was a little different than I
it'd be a
remember.
great love story like Titanic," and everyone's like, "But you know what happened at the end?" He's like, "I mean,
You know, the ship just like landed on, in America.
love triumphed.
Everybody got
Everyone's
off.
like,
Love Triumph.
what?
Titanic.
What
Love
movie did
Triumph.
you watch?" Like having their mind blown.
Billy Zane beat up that evil Leonardo DiCaprio and saved his girl.
Yeah.
The movie is over.
I want to see Titanic with the tagline like "Love triumphs."
Yes. Oh man.
Oh,
Now, confusingly, I think there is a third cruise ship disaster movie called Just Poseidon. That
I would believe it.
It is not either of these.
really?
What about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea?
Well, I mean, that's just a classic.
That's like a sub movie with like an octopus.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was ever
Captain
really.
Nemo.
It was sure it was done into a movie, but
Oh, yeah, there's like famously there's like a black and white version that's like it's
really?
really cool actually for the
I don't
time.
know why they
like,
never made like
they
a
get
remake
attacked by a
of
giant
that.
squid and
Yeah.
stuff. It's crazy. Yeah.
That's like a classic story.
I mean, they did Atlantis. That's basically the same movie.
There's also a
Disney did that.
Fantastic Voyage. That's not
Inside-
quite the same,
shrink
but
inside
in
of a person.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, your little spaceship inside a person. That movie was.
Well,
I saw that in
and then
high,
Inner Space?
high school
Also
or middle
played off
school or
that.
something. Inner Space, yep. That's a
And then
weird
Voyage of the
movie.
Mimi, the best disaster thing of all time.
What?
You didn't watch this as a kid? In
Voyage of Mimi? Is that a
in elementary
Mariah
school,
Carey?
you'd get like 8 VHS tapes of the show called Voyage of the Mimi, and it was about people on a ship learning like nautical things and like tracking whales. And the ship like crashes, and they had to survive on an island. And it's just like an 8-episode show that they showed to kids in elementary school. It has Ben Affleck in it.
I've
very
never
young-
heard of this.
I've never seen
Great.
the whole thing, obviously,
Great
because
thing.
it is like 20 VHS
It's 20.
tapes.
Yeah, it's 20 VHS
But-
tapes. long.
I've never heard of this. Ever.
It was
Is it a
pretty
TV
popular.
show or is it just a movie series on VHS?
I feel like it had to have been like a Canadian TV like series or something.
Okay.
But yeah.
Man. I need more. I need everything to just be set on boats. Those are just good movies.
Right.
I mean,
Boat movies.
boat movies. I need more of them.
More boat movies.
Jaws is basically a boat movie.
Submarine movies were popular for a minute
U571,
too.
man, I watched that.
Yeah, The
forever.
Widowmaker.
Yep.
Hunt for Red October.
Oh gosh. Crimson Tide.
Das
Come
Boot.
on.
Das
Man.
Boot.
They just did there's a live
I saw
action
that one.
miniseries that came out a few years ago that's like, I think it's a German production. It's a really good show.
Das Boot was a
like
TV.
Chernobyl for Das Boot.
I didn't realize Das Boot was a movie. Was a TV show actually.
It's recently.
And that-
That's a recent thing.
No.
But-
The original.
Oh, really? The original
movie. The Wolfgang Peterson was a TV made movie, but then they
Oh, I see.
combined the two parts into
Interesting.
the actual
Oh.
film.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I read this.
Now we've all learned something.
It's a lot of boat movies.
Yep. Kon-Tiki is a great raft movie.
I mean,
We watched that together.
I love
I never knew
Kon-Tiki.
anything about Kon-Tiki.
I like
got
Kon-Tiki.
all
That was
the
cool.
Pirates of the Caribbean films.
There's also
right.
some bad like over the top.
Overboard?
Isn't like the Chris Helmsworth like
the
boat
Moby
movie that
Dick?
nobody watched.
Yep, Moby.
Was it Moby Dick?
Moby Dick.
I thought there was a movie that was made by like Spielberg or somebody like super awesome, and like nobody saw this movie.
I mean, Master and
Titanic
Commander
2?
is amazing and incredible, and we
Yeah, it
never
wasn't
got more
Master
of
and
them.
Commander. It was something else. But
I think I do know what you're talking about.
yeah,
Actually, that
he's
might
got his
have been-
hair all blown back and like he's on a
I
boat.
think that is the Moby Dick one. Like,
Oh,
they-
okay.
Yeah, they hyped that up, and it was
don't
like
mess with the
very.
Zohan?
They spent a lot of money on it, and then no one saw it. Man. More boat movies, please. All of them.
Isn't
Love
there
boat.
One of
Come on.
Rob Redford, where he's like stuck on a boat.
Oh yes, there is that one. What is it called though? That I wanted to see that.
The man's on a boat. I don't know.
Yeah, it came out like 4 or 5 years ago. Where he's
There's
on
like
a
very
boat.
little dialogue in it, I think.
Yep.
And we got Castaway.
Ooh,
Yeah, Castaway,
is
I
that
thought
a
about.
boat movie though?
Yeah, he's on
He's
a
in
boat.
a
It's a
plane,
it's a
and then he
raft.
falls down.
He's
onto
on
it.
a raft. He's building a
I
raft
guess
for
at
most of
the
the
end.
movie.
Yeah, all right. Okay, fair. What other boat movies? What's the? This is a Cary Grant one. I feel like the
Life Raft
Cary Grant.
or Lifeboat. There was a
he like has to boat up a
Alfred
river
Hitchcock
with
movie called
someone
Lifeboat, that
forever
was
in like
really
Africa. I can't
African
remember what it's
Queen?
called. African Queen. Yeah.
Oh, that's Humphrey Bogart,
Oh, okay. Old bogey.
the bogey. I've never seen that one.
I think
know
I've
if
seen
it's
that
good
one
or racist.
once.
Might be racist.
Better. I don't know if this qualifies. Mother Goose is the Cary Grant one I think I was thinking of, which is not exactly a boat movie, but it is hilarious and everyone should go see that. Mother Goose is super funny.
A lot of boat movies.
What, Brad? Get out of here! I don't want to talk to you ever again.
There's a Twilight Zone movie or episode. That
Oh
was
yeah, it's on a boat.
Oh, yeah. There's a good X-Files episode where they find a ghost ship.
Ghost Ship.
There's two.
And there's Ghost Ship.
There's one where they
I've
find
seen
a ship where like
part
they
of that.
age super fast, and then there's another one where they find a cruise
like
ship
old.
and travel back in time. To
I've seen
the
that one
Nazis.
with you.
Yeah,
I've seen most of that episode with
Two
you.
good boat episodes of the X-Files. There you go.
There's a lot of boat stuff. We're digging for boat content right now.
We need all the
we
boat
don't know
content.
Leave your
any
favorite
more
I was put on the spot, and this was a
info
terrible
about
choice.
YouTube
the
comments
Poseidon
below.
Adventure.
Yeah.
Boat us at
All the boat movies we
what
missed.
boat.
What we boat.
What we boat.
Hashtag what we boat. We'll find it.
Boat for us.
No,
Wait, what?
stick to one. Stick
Oh.
to one.
All right,
Don't
stick to
confuse-
one. Hashtag stick to one.
Stick to one.
I got 3 in there.
There you go.
And we're gonna see what we got right and what we got wrong in part 2 of the Poseidon Adventure.
Still looking for a way across?
Yes.
What do you need? Take the slack. Hey, Rem! Come on! I did the hard part.
Welcome back to the Swimming with Flashlights podcast. We watched not the Poseidon Adventure, but just Poseidon.
Yeah, we should clarify that.
That was a point of confusion for me when I was about to play
Well,
it.
I would say, like, the first thing I discovered is there's a whole Poseidon verse.
Yeah.
There is the original Poseidon Adventure. There is a sequel to the original
Called Beyond
Beyond the Poseidon
Beyond the
Adventure
Poseidon Dome.
with Michael Caine and like crazy cast.
Wait, Michael Caine? I didn't see him on there.
And the director is
I saw, like,
the
Rutger
original
Hauer
director
or
from the
something.
original, which is the director who did Towering Inferno.
Wow.
Okay.
Same dude.
I
And
think-
then
I
there
wonder if Towering
is
Inferno came after.
there's the Poseidon Adventure 2005, which is a made-for-TV
Peter Weller.
movie with Peter Weller, Adam Baldwin, and it's.
But that's the one
yeah.
with the terrorist attack, right?
Yes, that's
yeah,
where
yeah,
terrorists
that's what I read.
blow a hole in the ship and flip it over. And then there is 2006 Poseidon.
A space Poseidon.
yeah,
travesty.
Space Poseidon, which was what we watched
Space Poseidon.
with Kurt Russell. Unless you're me, and I watched all 4 of them.
Did you
Did you watch all 4 of these?
I watched 3.5.
I skimmed them.
I watched 3.5 because
Oh,
2005
man.
Poseidon Adventure is so bad. I
wouldn't
couldn't
have
finish
watched
it.
that one.
It's so bad.
I
I was
skimmed
curious
the
to watch the
original.
first. Was it worth? Is it worth going back and
It
watching?
seemed
I
like
know
watching
it's
a
campy.
stage play.
It
was very
is.
campy.
I
it
saw
is
the Roger Ebert
It is
review.
worth ignoring the 2006 Poseidon and just watching the original Poseidon Adventure.
They never do like a close up. Like everything I saw was like really wide shots of like people and things in the original.
Okay, so I would like to.
Sure.
I've in a perfect world, I would mix the 2 movies. So Poseidon that we watched has. The VFX are gorgeous. This
Yeah.
movie looks fantastic. The sets look great.
The opening shot.
They spent all their money on
Yeah.
making this thing look perfect, and it does. The opening shot is crazy cool. They come panning in like they follow a dude on the deck and then pan back up
It's
again.
like it's a fake oneer.
It is
done between CG
Oh my
and
gosh.
real footage, and I don't know what I can like kind of see when it.
I was
changes.
looking for the transition
Yeah.
and I couldn't see it.
I saw 2 of the transitions pretty easily.
Oh
but-
man, it's
We
good.
didn't say who directed this.
Wolfgang.
Peterson, yeah. Get another, like, hey, you made one boat movie.
Make another boat
Make the
movie.
other
and it
boat
was
movie.
underwater.
We talked about those boat
We're going to
movies.
sink
We did.
this boat.
We did talk about that boat movie.
You only have there's only a couple guys qualified to do boat movies, you know. So
Did he also do Neverending Story? Was that Wolfgang?
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Wait,
Man.
We did the sub movie, which I can't remember for some reason what it's called.
do we do Hunt for October?
No, not that one. The Wolfgang
sub
Peterson,
movie?
the German one.
We didn't do Das Boot.
Das
Boot.
We have not.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't
talked
I
about
thought
it
that's
in
what you
part
were
one.
saying just a second ago. I was confused.
We talked about it in
We
part
did
one.
talk about it in part
Oh,
one.
I see. Okay.
It was like 10 seconds. It's like probably 10 minutes before right now.
Yeah, I didn't expect that
The
he
podcast.
like I wasn't expecting
Yeah.
that he was the director of this one, but it looked beautiful.
Yeah.
This movie like was shot.
All the
and-
real
Oh my
sets
God.
look
Sets.
so
It looked
good.
like a very modern
I
movie.
was-
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It looks really good.
for sure.
Like 15 years old.
Writing terrible.
I thought some moments of the writing were decent. Actually, I like the back and forth between the daughter and the dad in the opening.
I
thought
guess
that
this was sort
like,
of my question I wanted to
decent.
lead with was, did any of you feel like you cared or connected with any of the characters in this film?
Zero.
Only because
Zero.
I was afraid of drowning. I was like, "Don't drown,"
And that girl drowns.
and then I was like,
Freaking
"Well,
Kurt Russell drowns, and it is like
It's gruesome.
It is. It's a
I hated
brutal
watching
scene.
that.
It was really intense. Like that
Yeah.
was actually really good. But before, like, is he doing Jack Burton on the boat in this movie? Like he felt
There are
no.
two.
he felt like
There
he
are
was
two
doing
Kurt
Jack
Russell
Burton.
references. I'm trying to see if there was a
Wait, he references himself?
yeah, or he said he used to be a fireman. Backdraft.
Oh, yep.
Backdraft. And then he's the mayor of New York.
He used to be a mayor of New York, and he also used to be a fireman.
He escaped being the mayor of New York, Andy.
Okay, that one was like
That's
a two-stepper.
true. You know, he
That
was
a
sort of
two-step
a
away.
He was sort of a symbolic mayor of New York. You know.
Okay, but did he
point,
say
good
that?
point.
Did I miss that line?
He
You
just
said he
there
escaped?
was just that he used to be the mayor.
Yeah, just that
Okay.
he used to be. Yeah, he used to be the mayor.
But
of
the
New York.
backdraft joke was like right there.
Yeah, for sure.
But
Should have had a Jack
So-
Burton line in there.
yeah, film looks gorgeous. I didn't care for the characters. The opposite is true for the original. The sets,
You care about the
they
characters.
were kind of dated, but I felt every single death in the original
Grandpa
movie.
Joe
Every
from Willy
single
Wonka
one
is in that movie.
He is. He is.
Don't kill him. Oh, he dies,
him and
doesn't
his
he?
wife
He
have a
does not
story.
die, actually.
Oh,
His
thank
wife
God.
dies, and he is just like devastated, and you feel it with him.
He's a great actor.
Oh
Willy
my!
Wonka.
Like, who is
Gene Hackman?
Gene Hackman's the lead.
I saw that. I was
And
surprised
then
by that.
Who's the loud guy?
Ernest Borgnine.
Ernest,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah,
He
I saw
looks
him
pretty
in the
skinny in
cast.
that movie too.
Dude,
when I saw
he's
it.
like climbing a ladder at one point, and he like just came out of some water, and he looks ripped. He's just like going up, and I'm like, that dude's
Ernest.
arms are enormous. Like,
Wasn't he in Marty? Wasn't
he was in basketball.
Oh, he was in baseball.
Yeah, he was the-
because
yeah,
of
the hot dog guy.
The hot dog shooting out of his mouth.
yep. Oh man, like yeah, he like the cast in the original are all amazing. I don't want to say the cast in the new one aren't good or anything.
Josh
I
Lucas
feel
was
like
the guy. I
they weren't
couldn't
given much to
remember.
work with. Josh Lucas, the
only know him as
ex-submariner,
Stealth.
ex-submariner.
He was pretty good.
And
I
Pitch
liked him
Black,
in
I think
this.
he's in.
I liked him more than I thought I would. He was when he comes up
he
and
in,
he's
like,
just
Torque?
like
Maybe.
Is he in
I'm the
Torque?
boatman. Ooh, I think he is.
Plays Dylan.
I feel like he is in Torque.
Yeah, we got,
The card gambler with nothing to lose.
yeah, used to be on a submarine.
Emmy Rossum is in the film.
Yes, she
Yep.
is.
She's like 18
good.
or
She
19.
was
Oh, that was a
really
great
good.
call.
She was, I think,
She was
my
really
favorite actor in this film. She was amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
for sure.
Trying to think.
Freddie Rodriguez?
Entourage guy.
Oh, Matt Dillon.
Matt Dillon. Yeah.
Matt Dillon. Wait, what?
Plays the villain.
He gets killed, really.
He does get
Is
killed
that
early
is
on.
he related to the other Dylan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan.
Different spelling. No, who's the other? What, isn't there a Matt Dillon already?
He's related to that Dylan you're thinking of.
Really?
Yeah.
They look similar.
Ben, what's his name? Ben Dillon? He's more famous than Matt Dillon.
I know. I thought his name was Matt Dillon.
Are we mixing it up? Hold on. We got.
think we
okay.
might
Maybe,
be.
maybe this is Fred Dillon.
It might be something
Who's
else. I
Matt
was
Dillon?
like,
Joe
he
Dillon.
was the guy in Wild Things.
Wild Things. Yes, which we did.
Oh,
on
yeah.
this.
They're related.
They're definitely related.
Yeah.
Now that you guys said Dylan, I was like,
The
well,
other
they
guy's
look the
name-
same.
This is Kevin Dillon.
Kevin.
Kevin. The other guy is Matt Dillon.
Yes,
Okay.
the other guy is Matt Dillon. You're right.
And then classic Richard Dreyfuss.
Richard Dreyfuss, yeah.
He looks old.
He
like,
does.
from What About Bob in this movie?
Yeah,
he is
you
just I don't know if it's makeup or if that's just how he looks.
a good-
but
Well,
That's a good point.
he had the hair already
Woof.
that was gray by like the early 90s.
he had all the liver spots.
But
though.
then in this movie, he actually looked like he aged with the face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he thinned down too.
I kept expecting him to die, and he didn't.
No,
I was
that's true.
surprised. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to die.
There were
saving-
several moments where he was at risk.
I mean,
Yes, he went
even
back to
before
save the
boat
girl.
flips. Like
Yeah.
he's literally about to,
He's about to
kill
kill
himself.
himself.
He's about to jump off the boat.
He's the first
Yeah.
guy, well, second guy,
So-
first passenger that sees the rogue wave.
Yeah.
Which I went on a crazy deep dive on rogue waves.
Oh, man.
I was like, I've never heard of that before, and they actually exist.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know, like, there's some waves that, like, I guess it's because of, like, currents and high winds. A bunch of waves will eventually form into one giant wave that can be, like, up to 80 feet high.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts hearing about him.
Yeah.
There's some. I feel like almost one of the boats
And
on like
it's
Deadly Sketch
like-
or something got hit by one at one point. And there's like some video
Yeah.
footage of it. They
Oh,
didn't
boy.
flip or anything.
Yeah, there's
but
there's a
just
photo
wrecks
from
their boat.
1940 of a boat from like there's a telephoto lens that someone took it from like a cliff, and there's a boat in the water, and it's just like kind of rocking back and forth, and there's a giant wave
Oh,
like about
man.
to hit it. And it's from like 1940.
Yeah,
Super
In this
scary.
one, it is just a straight up rogue wave. In the original, they mentioned there's like some underwater earthquake that creates a tsunami.
Sure,
And so,
sure.
yeah, it's, but-
rogue waves. There's no like defined like reason, whereas like a
and I
tsunami,
don't even
it's
know if
from
that was like a term in
from an
existence
earthquake.
from the original one happened. So like, yeah, I mean, it totally makes sense.
Well, yeah, because they only like
Oh, Leslie Nielsen's in the original one.
Yeah,
that was really
his
weird.
head is too big for his head.
I
I don't know why his
I
head
don't
was
know.
so big.
He was a weird choice because he's playing the captain who is very serious and angry, and everything he says just sounds like a joke because he's Leslie Nielsen. And like he's playing,
It's like
it feels like his
pre-Airplane.
character from Airplane.
Yeah,
where he's just like, I see a wave, and I'm just like, this guy.
Yeah, that'd be like
We're rooting
Rowan
for you.
Atkinson, like having
You can't
like,
go
very
full speed
professional
without
like
ballast tanks.
Shakespeare roles, and then he's like doing Mr. Bean later.
Yeah,
it's like
right,
everything
exactly.
would look like Mr. Bean.
It's really strange, but
Do you have a comment on the wave itself? Because it did something that you usually call attention to. It growled.
it did.
And howled.
I was going to
It made,
bring
like,
this up near
lion
the end of the movie.
noises.
'Cause
Yeah.
There's another great the ship
Oh.
is alive bit at the end.
When the ship sinks, it sounds like a sad whale.
Well, like when they
The ship's going down.
I didn't want to see it sing.
when they open
I
the
hate
thruster
that.
bed and it's like
Yeah,
like it's like,
heart
an
snarling.
animal trying to eat them.
There's so many animal
so
noises
amazing.
introduced to
The
these.
sound design, man.
Well,
Oh,
the last thing I'll say about rogue waves that I thought was interesting is they only just like more recently were actually able to identify that these exist.
yeah.
Like only in the last like 30 years or so have they been able to like document and record a couple of them with like actual they were saying there's in Ireland there's a ocean rig, and then they put like a some kind of laser meter that can like detect like the heights of the waves, and they
Oh,
caught one
yeah.
that was like close to 90 feet high.
That's crazy.
It's insane. They come out of nowhere too, and it's like from like very
Wonder-
calm water, just like how it was in the movie.
Yeah.
How many ships in history have been destroyed by rogue waves?
Yeah.
Oh,
and you'll never know
tons.
because they're all gone.
Tons.
No evidence.
Exactly.
It's the perfect crime.
Is nature can you get arrested? Oh, it's got a voice.
And Fergie's in the film.
Yeah, and with
Yeah.
Andre Brower, the two of them have
and
like
this
a
is
moment.
like peak Fergie.
It was.
It was.
It was a big get. I
She's like
bet.
Is this
the
like
entertainer on
pre-peeing
the
your
ship.
pants?
Ooh.
Might have been.
Wow.
Did I
I feel
upset
like
someone?
I was so surprised that they like kind of squandered both her and Andre Brower. I mean, they needed someone to die.
They had a hug at the.
They do. They have a good
They really
moment.
just want to use it for the
But-
music scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be honest, they wanted to kill her.
Well,
it
but
seemed.
yeah, like in the original, one of the people in the group is like the singer.
That makes sense.
From the stage, like like when the boat
Yeah.
flips, her brother dies in the flip, and then she's. One
I
of the
expected
people
those people to
that's
somehow like
escaping.
make it up their own way, but they just die in the ballroom.
Yeah.
It was, yeah, like
They just get
And the
killed.
original
They're
has
right,
one
you
where
have to
they
get
run
out of
into
there.
another group of survivors heading one way, and they're like, "That's the wrong way," and this friend's like, "No," and they had like,
we just came from that way. Don't go that
yeah.
way.
So, but yeah, in this one, no, like everyone just dies back there? Like, and again, in the original, like, the windows finally like break or something and the thing floods and they like just close the doors to like the screams of the drowning people in there because there's nothing they can do. In this one, it's like they leave and then like an hour later the people in the ballroom die, so there's no connection between the two. Yeah, at least for them. It is sad though. Like, I mean, they're all sitting in there and they're like, we're just waiting, and then the windows slowly start to crack.
Yeah, the captain, he's just kind of looking around, like,
he sees it.
He knows it's over.
Yeah, it's he just
didn't want to like have a huge panic, but I feel like he knew that
he was having like some kind of internal panic. For sure.
I think so.
That actor, what else is he
Brooklyn
in?
Nine-Nine.
He's in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
That's what it was.
Yep.
Yeah, he looks so familiar.
Where do we want to go from here?
Just kind of talking about what Andy was saying about like not really connecting with the characters. They're all kind of like more.
They're all
like
bad.
On the jerky.
They're not morally good.
Like they're
other than Emmy Rossum and her.
You can't
fiance.
say she's like evil or anything, but like.
Well, she sort of she cost Kurt Russell $40,000.
I thought that was a great little bit. But like the whole poker game really kind of sets like the tone for these personalities, and I don't know if it's really the right tone to set, but I thought maybe they were trying to make them kind of at odds.
You see where everyone's coming from to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, we should cover the group. We didn't. I mean, obviously, we clearly did not remember much of this in part one. I was obviously mixing both these movies together in part one as well. So yeah, there's Kurt Russell and his daughter.
Yep.
And her
fiance. We find out.
Well, I thought they get engaged during the.
It was right before.
It was right before. Yeah,
right before.
Like proposes right before the wave hits, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right before. Yeah, right. Okay.
We have the single mom and the kid.
Yes, and the single mom makes it to the end, but I don't really understand what she's doing other than like wanting to save that kid.
She's the love interest for the main guy.
Kinda.
You have a great point, Brad, because there was a. Like, I was watching all the other characters, and then there's one scene where she came back in, and I was like, wait, like, she's still in this? Like, what?
I literally forgot about her. I thought it was just the daughter and the stowaway, who were, like, the only women left at one point. And then the mom was there, and I was like, oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
That she's here.
Because they were in, like, there was one section where they're in, like, a big, like, air duct or something, and they're all trying to push through, and it kept cutting between, like, many of the characters, but they wasn't showing the mom ever.
Yeah.
And then she was in the next room.
She, like, disappears for large
I was like, wait a sec. Oh, she's still here. Oh, okay.
And her and Josh Lucas kind of have a flirty thing going, and they end up, like, bonding more and more as the movie goes on.
Yep.
Sure.
There's the stowaway, which you just mentioned, who is like also related to Freddie Rodriguez, who shows up for like a quick second.
She said that they're not related.
Yeah,
she had
related
a brother, but that like he was just like letting her like stow away.
It seemed like
in exchange for sex.
Yeah, it seemed like a bad situation. For her.
I didn't actually pick up on that, but I can understand that.
Because she doesn't know that Richard Dreyfuss kills him. But she confesses about him to Richard Dreyfuss, and Richard Dreyfuss like is just assuming it's somebody else.
And there was like a light one.
He doesn't have the connection. I thought that would be like a moment where he was like, "Oh, you killed my whoever, like you killed that guy." Like, it was either going to be like like if he was an asshole, it would have been like a nice thank you or something. Like you freed me from this guy or something like that. But he played it like he was a nice guy. It's just we found out later that he was a terrible person.
Right.
Yeah, that's a little strange. That's maybe like a rewrite need right there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because they did do that onesie-twosie a little bit where it was like, you see the guy that works there and her coming into the kitchen early in the movie. Yep. They don't say what their relationship is, but then he dies.
I assumed they were like brother sister that he was letting her. Because
I assume so too.
Like, you can't leave the room. How can you get fired?
Yeah, I thought it was more of a caring relationship than what she said.
Yep. Yeah, when he gets like kicked down and dies, I thought the very next scene when she shows up, it's gonna be like, oh, my brother, I don't know where he is, and I thought it was him.
Searching for him kind of thing.
Yeah, but then she was like, no, my brother's in another where we're going, and I'm trying to get back to him because he's sick.
And there has to be a big moment where like Richard Dreyfuss sees that she has like a pendant of him, and then he has remorse.
He's like, oh, God.
And sacrifices himself to save her.
Or like when she
she dies.
Yeah.
Right, because because I had the same thought. I was like, Richard Dreyfuss is going to die saving her. But then that's not what happened. She just ended up dying.
Why?
Yeah. But it also kind of made sense because she was panicking once, and she was always the one panicking once.
That was her thing. But she also sort of overcame her panic, and then she'd end up dying.
Yeah, but once you get like you're swimming forever, and I was even holding my breath. I
assumed we were all doing that because
especially there was one scene where they're like, we have to go to the next room, but then they actually didn't know what was going to be in the next room, and it was just filled with water, and they were swimming, and I was holding my breath the whole time, and then right before they got dumped into the next room, I was like, and it was forever, and I was like, how are they going to survive this?
The scene where I lost it was when they were climbing through the air duct. And they were just like so claustrophobic, like right on top of each other.
And the water's coming up.
Water filling up. And I'm just like, I would die.
Josh Lucas is the one at the bottom, just
You
like,
would be that
please
girl.
unscrew the grate.
She
As the
was
water's like, bloop, 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 bloop.
There's a little kid has to get his hand up there
To unscrew the grate.
it with her.
Yeah,
little
he had screwed the
necklace.
one, and I was like, oh, thank God. And then he had another one, and I was like, no! I was like,
He should have done like a third one and like a fourth one, like a fifth one. He just should have kept going.
Hey, Nelson tells me you're on your way to see your little brother. Is he older or younger?
He's younger.
Younger?
Yeah, he was always so small.
Elena, you don't want your little brother to think you didn't come. You understand? Just reach up and grab Nelson's foot. Come on, please.
Promise me I get to
I
see.
want you to reach up and grab Nelson's foot, Elena.
Promise me I get to see.
Okay, I promise. I promise you'll see him. Just reach up. There you go. There you go. Now come on. Just breathe. Come on, you got it. Push, Elena. Push him out. That's it. Push. You got it there. Yeah. Whoa. You got it. There you go. Oh, thank you. Now come on.
I was actually like really suspensed. That was a lot of suspense the entire time.
Yeah, there was a lot of good set pieces. So they immediately have to cross. First, they get through
That's
the
why I
kitchen.
felt the
A flaming
dialogue kind
elevator.
of didn't matter because it turned into mostly action.
Yes.
And so like the
yeah.
dialogue became more about just what they're actually doing in each set,
Trying to
except for
solve
like
a-
It is.
overcoming fear is what it's about.
It was like
So
people solving an
they
escape
didn't really have to
room.
write the movie necessarily; they just had to write the action.
People solving an escape room.
And I will say, like,
Exactly.
and I
That's
think
a good way of putting
again,
it.
the sets in this movie, to me, I felt way more that they were in an upside down place. In the original, there's like they have some scenes where they point out that things are upside down, but like it's easy to forget because you don't really notice. I don't know if it's just a factor of the kind of rooms they use between the two, or if it is genuinely like, oh, they just didn't put that much into it. This one, it's like when they're running down a hallway and they're dodging the fluorescent lights on the floor, which looks really cool, having like lit up walkways basically, and like pipes are all over the place. There's just it really feels like a full-on death trap obstacle course. It's really
A lot of
cool.
electricity and fire.
especially the
in this movie.
electricity.
Yep.
And like the popping lights and everything, and even when they showing you like submerged outside of the ship shots where it's underwater and there's like
Yes.
popping lights.
That's
really
what I
cool.
like when all the
cool.
ship lights go out
But scary.
finally, and you still get those like the flares up. It looks so cool. Oh, it looks
I
great.
was so like terrified for a lot of
I was
this.
happy electricity came back on in the ship so we could see our characters, though.
Yeah.
It wasn't just a total blackout. I don't know where the lights were in the rooms that they were in, but it looked great. Lighting was great.
Yeah, I don't know how like the lighting.
I'm not
going
to think about it logistically, but
Well, because the lights go out, and then you see like the emergency lights come back on. But there are parts where like the hallway lights are on, and you're just like,
it's just
oh,
like this beautifully lit scene.
But all the engines are dead. Like there shouldn't be power for those. It should just
Yeah.
be those little wall lights and stuff.
See, there shouldn't be power.
Oh God.
Andy controls
God,
light
we're
with his
turning!
mind.
So yeah, they cross an elevator and they lose the kind of
Matt Dillon.
rapist
Not Matt
waiter
Dillon.
guy.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
what was his name?
Freddie
He-
Rodriguez. He's
he-
from Lady
yeah.
in the Water, and he's in not Death Proof, but the other one, Planet Terror.
Yes, that's right. He is in Planet Terror.
he was a hit actor for a second there.
Then I think they cross the main staircase which is where we get Kevin Dillon dies. He gets a
Yeah, what was his
engine dropped
character
on him.
name? He said Lucky something.
Lucky Louie, Lucky
Yeah,
Larry.
Yeah, so Lucky Larry.
Don't call yourself Lucky Larry in the middle of a disaster. You're gonna in a movie.
Yeah.
You're the next to die. And he
sure.
got crushed by
He
I don't
picked
know
a
what
fight
that
with
was.
Kurt Russell for like no good reason.
Yes, he was picking fights with everyone for no reason.
Yeah.
He seemed like he got crushed by a giant stove. I didn't even know what that thing was.
I think it was an engine. Because
Oh,
like
no,
right after
something
it
in the
comes down,
ballroom.
is like a bunch of like fuel pours down after it and
Yeah,
creates a pillar of fire in the room.
yeah, which was also like a really cool scene because
Yeah.
like they're trying to figure out how to cross it, and Kurt Russell wanted to give up, and Emmy Rossum's like, I can't leave my fiance. And
Yeah, that's
then
when she breaks the news to
Josh
him.
Lucas like took a fire hose
his
and
hero
just jumped
moment.
right into the fiery water.
Yeah, man, he's the hero.
That was a perfect move.
He's the old Kurt Russell.
Ooh.
He's the 80s Kurt Russell.
There you go. That's what he would have done with red lipstick on.
That sounds right.
We missed the very first obstacle, which is getting the little kid down from the piano.
Oh, you're right.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
They, like rush hour style.
They do.
get the curtain-
It's exactly what I was thinking
Yeah.
of when
Love
they pulled
that.
the curtain.
Yeah.
For a second, I thought that might have not been a boy, but a man who was just like looked like small, like looked like a boy.
Might have been. He probably had a
His-
stunt double
his-
for sure, who was like a smaller person.
Yeah, and some of his lines in the opening were like really poorly written. To be
He was not a
honest.
good child actor.
He was not
Poor
great,
kid.
and some of the lines he was given were like adult lines, and I was like, maybe you should think about writing this
Yeah.
for a
Have you ever
kid.
seen-
See,
a
it
good
could,
swimmer or
it
something?
could
I don't
work
know.
because in the original, the little kid is like the expert on the ship because he has spent his entire cruise like just following crew members around and
Yeah.
learning about how the ship works. He
Makes
thinks
sense.
it's so cool. So he's the one that's constantly being like, "Oh no, there's totally a hatch over here for a thing," and everyone's like, "You're a kid. You don't know anything." And he's like, "This is literally the one thing I know. I am 5," and he's right every time.
I'm curious how quickly before the ship actually flips over in the original, because this one only
16
takes
minutes.
14 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's still pretty quick. I
Okay.
think it feels longer. I felt like we got more character build in the original.
This felt like there was
But
no time to character
this
build.
I didn't know the locations of.
I didn't.
everything,
I
so
like,
was
and they were
upset.
moving between the characters really quickly, and I
We-
kept forgetting who was who.
In the beginning, we could get the kitchen, the ballroom, and then like the lobby and
and we
the
get
decks. but
Kurt
those don't
Russell's
matter.
suite.
Yeah, which we never come back to.
no, and it looks amazing. But yeah, we never come back to it. Never see anything really outside the ship. We did get a fun shot of the bridge, which went full Star Trek when they got hit with that wave. People were just bouncing, and everything was exploding in that bridge. Every console
Yeah,
was just
everyone.
shooting sparks, and I was like, it went full Star Trek in there. It was
Yeah.
pretty hilarious.
I would hope that never happens on a cruise.
I do think I was like, I do like, it is a more modern bridge, and so I feel like just the realities of the technology make it a little less more intense than like the older films where they're like, oh, turn the boat, and everyone's like fighting against a big wheel trying to get it to turn. And this one, like the dude just like pushes
Holding
the
a
joystick
lever.
over, and he's like. And I was like, I mean, I get
it's
it.
not like you really have to press.
Like, I'm sure if I watched myself and I'm like flying a plane on my computer, I'm like, but it was, it
you have
ended
to
up being
play up
pretty
the
funny.
action a little
Yeah,
bit.
it was pretty
But
good.
technology does come back to hurt Kurt Russell because he has to hit a button and it's not there. It's broken.
Yep.
Oh, right.
If it were a big
Computers,
rod or a
goddamn it.
lever, he could have pulled it.
See?
You know?
He knew he was going to die.
Technology.
That's why, yeah,
when
everything's
he died.
touchscreens now, you know?
Right. That's when he basically died at the end.
Yes.
He was trying to save them.
That was a big bummer.
Because they're at the last little bit where
There's a little bit more where they're going up we already talked about going up the air duct. And then
Yeah.
they have to,
and they have to flood the room.
and they have to flood the room.
They end
and
up in the
that's-
ballast tanks.
And that's where our poor lady dies. She
Yeah.
gets her dress stuck on like
on
some,
like some
kind of
wires
wires.
dangling, and then she like hits her head trying to escape.
Yeah.
And just
Oh.
knocks herself
and then
out.
they give her the old CPR stuff, but it just doesn't take.
Yeah, man, like the deaths in the original too. Like Grandpa Joe's wife, she saves the Gene Hackman. Basically, she saves him because he gets trapped underwater in a hallway at one point. And like right after she saves him, he's just like, "Oh, thanks." She's like, "Wow, I'm still like." She used to be some champion swimmer when she was young, and she's like, "I guess I still got it," and has a heart attack.
Oh, no.
And just dies because she like overexerted herself trying to save him, and it's just like. It's an extra kick in the gut when you're just like, oh, she did it. Oh, but like also now she's dead.
That could have sort of happened in this movie. Instead, the fiance ends up taking the kid on his back and then swimming with the kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, he says that he's a high school swimmer, which is a lie. He was just saying that to ease that girl's like
Right.
mind. And he was like, that would make sense if he was the one to like sacrifice, get hurt or do something in favor of the kid.
Yeah,
but-
well, and like you said, like in this
Or if
one,
that
she
girl
gets
was, like, a good
stuck,
swimmer.
and I think it's Richard Dreyfuss is
Yeah.
the one that swims back.
Richard
and, like,
Dreyfuss kills
finds
both of
her,
these poor people.
Gets back with like what? What the heck, man?
Yeah, it would have. I mean, I guess it wouldn't make more sense, but I just assumed Richard Dreyfuss was going to be the one to die there.
Yeah. Richard Dreyfuss, his story is that he is in a bad relationship with his husband or boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's got like a boyfriend that dumped him.
It sounds like he's
dumped him over the phone.
A big
He's got an
rich
old
guy, but
Nokia.
yeah, like basically, just his boyfriend was like, I've met someone, it's over, and he's
He's going to commit suicide.
He's like, he was my whole world, and now I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, he was just going to commit
was
suicide.
he supposed to
on
go on the
boat.
trip with him or something?
Yeah, it sounds like he was. They were talking like they make jokes about like oh your boy your partner missed the boat. And he's like, I guess I was the one that missed the boat.
Oh, and you said it had bad writing.
Andy said that.
Yeah, Andy said that.
Brad said that.
Yeah,
I thought the writing was pretty okay, actually. Just maybe the kids' lines were terrible.
yeah, it's gonna happen with kids.
And there wasn't, and I agree, there wasn't decent character development in that opening 14.
There's some. The kid has some great lines in the original. Like it's him and his sister. Like his sister's the one taking care of him. It's not like a single mom and a kid. And there's a good part where they're talking about like they have to swim through this corridor and it's really long. And this is where like Gene Hackman swims with a rope so that they can all guide through. But like they're like, oh, you can hold your breath, right? Like one of the guys is trying to talk up the kid, and the kid's like, oh yeah, I was able to swim 3 lengths underwater. My sister only swam 2 lengths underwater. I was like, that was a really good little kid line. It's like, kid, that's cool, and I get it, but not right now. I don't need to hear about it, and your sister doesn't care.
Not today, son.
It's a really good line.
So they end up actually having to like separate because the
boy gets stuck.
The mom,
right. You're right.
The
The
mom's
boy
looking
gets
for
lost.
the kid. The
Yeah.
kid's he just wanders off.
He just wanders away.
Yeah.
And so
No
the mom goes
explanation.
after him, and then Josh Lucas goes after her.
And also the kid's stuck behind a grate. No explanation again.
Yeah, he finds the mom, and he's like,
didn't
"Hey,
know
we
how
gotta
he
get out
got
of here!"
there
And he's
because
just
it was
like,
already
"Meh."
like filling with water.
He's in
so-
he's in like a casino
it-
cashier cage or something.
Yeah, I don't know why he walked away, because there were a couple times where she kept going like, "Don't walk away," and then he just did.
Yeah, he just did.
Yep. In the original, the kid does wander away, and it's because he has to find the bathroom, and then he goes into the bathroom, and all the toilet stuff's on the ceiling, and he's like, "Oh,
That would have been funny.
it's really good."
movie.
He's like looking at the
That's
urinals
funny.
of the
And then you
toilet,
can like try to pee into it, and then you get another little kid peeing moment in the podcast. Like Dunson checks in.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
Oh man, but you're right. It just wanders away.
And then we have Kurt Russell, Dreyfuss, the fiance, and Emmy.
Yeah.
And then Kurt Russell goes ahead and pulls a Bruce Willis from the Armageddon moment.
Yeah.
Where he's like tricks the guy.
The fiance is like, someone's got to go push the thing to
button.
do the thing.
Oh,
And Kurt
right.
Russell and the guy are like arguing over it. And
Well, the guy took so long, and he was like, "I."
He goes to see Emmy. He's like, Emmy, I need you to know.
no,
You
I
gotta
love you and
say
kiss me
love
before I go
Definitely
down
the
there.
best. And now let's turn back to Kurt. Hey, where'd he go?
and he's gone.
And he's gone.
It was like a cartoon.
He left to go push the button and die very gruesomely.
And I will say, again, Emmy's reaction here was good. This was like the one time I felt for a character is she's just like, oh, God, my dad just went to his death.
Because they had to stop a turbine that was going
Yeah, so
the wrong way
in part one
above them.
I talked about how they get cut out.
Yeah.
But in this one, they have bow thrusters. They're like, we could get into those and just, there's the hole. It's just, they're basically holes in the side of the ship
Yeah.
with big propellers in them. We can get out of those. And yeah, that's what but they find out they're still on and they have to like turn them off. So he goes to the control room to turn it off.
He can't turn it off. It's broken.
Yeah,
But
turns
he
out.
can turn the tides.
He can reverse them.
There's a pun there. Because he flips them over.
So instead of pushing air out, they're sucking air
And we can
in.
put
Or no,
stuff
the
in there to
opposite.
try to jam
Yeah,
them.
so now instead of pulling air in, it's sucking
So
air.
what they push in there?
They push
It's like a fire extinguisher.
Yeah, it's like a video game, like Red Barrel. That they
Yeah,
just find.
exactly.
It was like an
just a
oxygen tank or
propane tank
something.
hanging out. They just throw.
Something that's gonna explode.
I did appreciate this where they're like, all right, throw this in there, and then it just goes like plonk and doesn't fit in the
Yeah.
hole. And
Oh,
I was
of
like,
course.
okay, that's a good moment. That's like a good. Oh shit, this didn't just work.
And there's
You gotta up the stakes.
another moment where Josh Lucas gets his butt stuck in there.
He does.
And I
yeah.
immediately thought of all those rumors about a jacuzzi.
Don't put your butt on the. Don't put your butt on there.
You put your butt on the
It's a
jacuzzi,
prolapse rectum.
and it just sucks your rectum right out of there. And I
Yeah,
thought
that's
poor
it.
Josh Lucas's rectum was
Get his
getting
guts sucked out.
like the extreme gut sucking of that turbine of Josh Lucas's butthole.
Now that
I
would have
wonder if
been
that's
a
an
good
urban
ending.
legend.
That's a good death.
That's a good death.
I wonder if that's an urban legend or if that's just from that Chuck.
I'm not
Palahniuk-
gonna find out.
I'm not willing
No, no.
to research.
I wonder if it's an urban legend or if it's just from that Chuck Palahniuk short story,
Right.
where he wrote one that was like literally about that.
I don't know.
I thought he was going to get a butthole sucked out,
Yeah.
but he didn't.
Yeah.
The fire extinguisher whatever gets out and explodes the turbine.
Yep.
And they're safe.
Yeah, they're able to jump out into a life raft. And
It just happens to be a life raft right there.
And I
Very
will say,
nice.
this was my last note that I have, which was, what the hell was that flare to helicopter transition?
That was weird.
He shoots the flare and they're looking at it and it's coming down, and then it turns into a helicopter spotlight, and then they fade in the helicopter really fast, like whoa, 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 right over.
Oh, I
There's-
didn't notice that.
It was bad.
One more tension moment where the boat is flipping back onto them.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and
They
the
have
thrusters
to-
coming at them. Yeah,
And they have to
Pedal away, quick.
Paddle
Yeah.
away, yeah.
and we got some good digital breath once they get outside. And honestly,
That was distracting.
a little bit.
But-
It's not nearly as bad as some others that I've seen, so I wasn't terrible. But
Whatever makes the
Titanic.
actors okay. I hoped all the water was warm in the movie. That's all I hope.
Yeah.
yeah, they were saying
'Cause
they
they
were
had to
like
wear, like,
sailing
jeans
from
and stuff.
London to New York, so it should be freaking cold. That's like Titanic route.
I meant more just on the set.
but-
I hope that was okay for the actors.
yeah, oh yeah, hopefully.
And nobody was just peeing in those pools or nothing.
Oh, they
well,
were.
You know they were.
That'd be gross.
That kid was.
Oh, for sure.
He couldn't find the
Ew.
bathroom. The toilets were up top.
That's true.
I thought it'd be a really miserable movie to make, to be in. I don't want to be in that water all
I was
day.
thinking about that for some
I
of
don't
these.
wanna
where
do
just,
that.
Like,
Plus, the ladies have to wear dresses the whole time.
yeah.
And the men have to like swim in suits. The first thing I'm doing is popping my shirt off and pants.
Yep.
And my shoes. If I know I'm going to go underwater.
Yeah, you're not gonna be wearing those shoes.
No.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you want to be careful where you're stepping.
And those ladies are wearing just their full dresses swimming around down there.
you're gonna be so cold.
That actually
just
comes up
walking
in the
around.
original. So Gene Hackman's wearing like a freaking combat turtleneck the whole time.
Makes
he,
sense.
He dressed for the occasion. But like, yeah, the other guys are wearing tuxes, and the ladies, like in the original, right? That's where they use the Christmas tree because it's a New Year's celebration. We weren't sure what they was happening on
Yes.
the boat. It was both
Every,
of them.
it's like
New
every
Year's.
single one
At
of them
midnight, the
happens on
roadway
New
hits,
Year's.
yeah.
Yes, and so they take this artificial Christmas tree and put it up, but to like climb up, Gene Hackman's like, "Ladies, the dresses aren't going to work. You're going to have to lose them." And so like the two conventionally attractive ladies like have to take their dresses off, and then Mrs. Rosen, the singer who is now like an older, heavier set woman, they never mention her dress to her. She's in a long dress the entire movie. And, and I was like, come on,
the 70s.
come on.
Get rid of that Hays Code. Pop those dresses off, ladies.
Yeah. It's funny because the
my
the
God.
sister is able to, like, hers literally just turns like she's wearing like a skirt already, so she's just like pff, dress comes off, she's already in shorts, she's good. But like then Borgnine's wife is like a former sex worker, and she has like nothing on under her dress, so she gets his shirt and then is just in underwear the entire movie. So
Sexism.
yeah,
Wow.
a little bit.
Emmy Rossum gets her like boobs looked at a bunch of times in the movie at the beginning, but
That's
you know,
true.
That's true.
She's also very young. It's still
Yeah, well, you know,
How young?
uncomfortable. 18.
18? Yeah. She was in like Phantom of the Opera at the same time
well, it's
too,
like
I think.
in the
right?
original, like the sister has a crush on Gene Hackman, and they sort of play it like it's a young girl crush kind of thing. But there's some times where like Hackman seems like he's kind of like giving it back to her, and I'm like,
Yeah. 70s.
Maybe not do
James
that,
Bond.
though. Like, it's fine.
James Bond.
And then it just ends.
Yeah, I guess. Well, the
Just, like, ends
the
with the six of
helicopters
them.
like have the spotlights, and they
And then
find
they're
them.
like, there's a boat and another boat off in the distance.
yeah, right there when it sinks.
Yeah.
But-
They got just in time to
Like-
rescue 6 people.
Like, yeah, is it worth it? If you saw 6 people, you'd be like, they're all
Like,
dead.
oh.
I'll just turn around.
Just tell them we didn't see anyone.
always got to rescue them.
If they were like 20.
I like to think that the helicopter guy saw the raft, was like, and then they shot the flare, and he's like, shoot, now I gotta go. Like, I can't say I didn't see that happen.
He's just like putting the spotlight around them.
Yeah.
He knows it's there. He just keeps. I don't see him.
any survivors.
All right, I guess we're out of here.
Yeah. This movie looks gorgeous, and it is a fun action movie.
There's not really a villain.
Yeah,
the
I mean,
boat
the
itself.
villain is
Some people
Lucky
do
Larry,
bad
who
things.
dies really
The
early.
The villain
thing.
is the water. To be honest, like that is the villain.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're
and
escaping
yeah.
water
Kevin Dillon,
every
if
step
he
of the
had
way.
survived.
You're right.
I guess.
Kevin Dillon is the villain for like the first like 10 minutes.
But he ends up saving the fiance with his ingenuity to build a lever.
Look,
So I thought he was going to be a good guy.
it's confusing.
Everyone's just flip-flopping back and forth.
Yeah. This movie's like, like in Super Mario, there's like some levels where the level pushes you forward. You have no choice. You just have to go forward. That's like what's happening
it basically
in this movie.
is. Yeah,
Every step of the way, it's
Water
like
keeps
more water's
rising.
coming.
But they're going the
More
opposite
water's
way
coming
that
this
Mario
and then
goes.
this
They're
way.
usually going this way, and Mario goes that way.
It's
a little
See, it
confusing.
doesn't work. It doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it can only go the one
Mario
way.
Game Pebbles?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you want an action movie, you watch 2006. If you want a drama movie, you watch the original. I mean, both are good in their own way. I definitely prefer the original.
It's so old, though.
I'm going to have to watch it.
I couldn't.
okay.
I
like 70s
I tried to
movies.
start it right after this one, and it was just too late. And I was like,
There's
I
like,
can't. I have to watch this movie during the day.
yeah, there was like a whole series of disaster movies. There's one called Avalanche.
Oh, yeah.
You guys hear
Oh.
about that one?
Yeah.
I have.
Vertical Limit.
Oh, that was in the 90s.
Yeah.
That was in the 90s.
I'm trying to think of I'm just thinking of all
It's
the
just like
disaster
Towering
movies.
Inferno, Avalanche.
Alive.
and-
That was like the big disaster movie. That
well,
was
that's
like,
based on a real story,
yeah,
right?
for sure.
That's that soccer team that had to eat some of their members to survive because they crashed into a mountain.
I never saw the movie. I was just very
good.
worried about it.
That's good.
Someone eat a butt. That's what I heard. That's what someone cuts a butt up and then cooks a butt.
I don't remember
No?
exactly.
Okay.
I mean, most of the movie is just like their crash landed on like in the snow. And
Yeah.
a couple people.
There's a new
died.
movie with Mads Mikkelsen called Arctic that I would highly recommend.
I like Mads
Yeah, it looked
Mikkelsen.
pretty good. I watched
It
the
is
trailer for
good.
that, and I want to see it.
That's a good movie.
And I love Mads. He's always amazing.
This is, if you're in for a Poseidon adventure in the Arctic, this is for you.
Oh, I'm in down. All right. So another boat movie. All right.
Okay.
Well, no, but yeah.
Wow. In the Arctic, the boat's gonna flip. That's gonna be dangerous.
The whole Antarctica flips over and they have to dig out.
They're
Ooh,
climbing
yeah,
an
yeah.
iceberg, and then the iceberg flips underneath, and they have to climb back
By
up.
a rogue wave. Global
When they get
warming.
to the top of that one, it flips back over again because they don't understand
'Cause
that
that's the
balance
sequel.
exists. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Michael Caine shows up to be
Michael
in
Caine,
it.
he's on a boat, and he's trying to rob the iceberg.
that iceberg.
There's a caveman
Yeah.
inside there. I know it.
He's got his pontoon helicopter from Jaws 4. He lands right there.
He gets to the top of the iceberg and he shoots a flare up in the sky, and then a helicopter just fades in.
Just fade right in.
I thought you were the rescue chopper. No, I need someone to rescue me now.
Oh man.
Any last thoughts on Poseidon? Not adventured.
I thoroughly enjoyed it, to be honest. I thought it was.
I was
very
better than I
fun.
thought it was going to be.
Visually great. Didn't care for the characters.
Yeah. I like the characters more in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I care about those characters.
I feel bad saying that, but you do kind of get more development in that movie. Like,
Yeah.
that is kind of a big...
You learn
piece of
that
it.
LL Cool J's hat is like a shark's fin.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
He's got a little parrot friend. Mm-hmm. And everyone has kind of, their old reasons for doing the
He's
weird
got his-
shark stuff.
He's swimming, but he's got a baseball cap on it. It's just got the lid up in the top. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
When I was watching Poseidon, it felt like everything was like big and like grandeur. Like it felt like everyone's very expensive. Like it looked like a lot of money, and I didn't care about any of these people because they're probably all just rich phonies.
Well, the answer is it was a lot of
Yeah.
money. This thing cost like $140 million
Yeah,
to make.
It's a lot of extras.
Yeah.
A lot of extras. And the
I saw this in the
sets.
theater.
Well, and I would say, like,
Whoa.
I think the
must
reason
have
that
been,
we're able to compliment the graphics so much is because they spared zero expense to create
To Poseidon.
those graphics in 2006. Like, it was ILM, but like, I think the trivia mentions it was literally the model of the ship holds the record for like most detailed CG model of like a.
It was
something.
intense.
It's insane, and like it looks like they spent every dollar on this film, and then it did not return very well.
Oh, it didn't?
Like it made worldwide grossed more than they spent, but like overall it was a loss because of marketing and all that stuff. But so
Yeah, I don't-
not the
I'm not sure what
blockbuster they
people
were
were
hoping
thinking in
for.
I'm sure they just
2006.
write it off.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, not the blockbuster they were looking for. They were looking for one of those like
Well, they got my money.
Yeah.
spend $100, get $500.
But for
back
every
or
reason, like I
something.
feel like Troy, like also like made a bunch of money, and it like was sort of in like the similar action adventure
Yes.
time of film.
yeah.
But like, for whatever reason, I mean, I didn't want to see Poseidon in the theater.
Yeah, the original it would cost like $4 million to make, returned like 150, like insane blockbuster.
That's why they made a sequel.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It
Which
should have came
flopped
out
hard.
before Titanic, and then like Titanic would have had to like hold off or something because maybe it was just like too close to.
could be. Everyone was it was like, "Rah, don't even know this is original. They're just like, wow, banking on that Titanic money. And for all I know, the studio was banking on that Titanic money.
Thank you for joining us on that episode and every episode that you do. The next movie we're doing has the tagline, "You'll never know what bit you." We remember Lake Placid.
It has existed since prehistoric times. It was worshipped by primitive cultures. It can kill a man with one crushing bite.
We heard a man was bit in half.
Any recent bear attacks? Bears don't attack people underwater. Probably a beaver then.
What was that?
Whatever's out there being shot with this is dead. Oh no. Sheriff, how many deputies you got? You came here to help you find it. We can't let him kill it.
Experience a few parts mystery.
Do you have any theories of why he's here? Honestly, I don't know.
And a few parts missing.
It's a human toe.
Is this the man who was killed? He seemed taller.
Oh my God.
Bill Pullman.
Shoot him! No!
How much of a wacko is this guy? Bridget Fonda.
Mother!
Oliver Platt.
Maybe he swam back out! Maybe not. I just have this feeling everything's totally safe.
This summer, the Earth's oldest creature has just found a new home.
Wendy! Go under!
Lake Placid.